Hello and welcome to Experience Shared's Pokemon Podcast. There's no nicknames because we have unlimited access to like every single conceivable Pokemon from all of Pokemon history, and I think it would just be patronizing to come up with nicknames for you guys based on that large of a catalog.
Sure.
I want a nickname.
Pretty convenient for the guy who has to come up with the nicknames to have an excuse like that. Too many options now.
Buzz Sims.
Thank you.
And what's that ugly little mushroom thing you sent me the other day, Josh?
Fiellamosa,
Joshua.
maybe?
Fiellamosa, yeah.
Sure.
There you go. There's your guys'
Wait,
nicknames.
name me. I'm Sims Flora because you guys hate Sunflora so much.
Oh, we also hate
yeah.
Buzzswole.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I don't care about that one, but I care about Sunkern and Sunflora, and you guys always roast me for it. So,
Well, guess what, David? I guess this is going to be one of the first of many confessions and apologies because I have several Sunflora, one of whom is very strong, 3-star, and I love her. Her name is Sunbuns, and she guards a lot of the
That's
local
cute.
gyms for me. And I love her, and I've completely turned around on Sunflora now, and I actually love Sunflora.
how are you on Sunkern though?
Terrible. I mean, but you know what? I don't have to. That's the nice part about the pre-evolutions. You don't have to commit to them.
You don't gotta keep them. Yeah, they're gonna go away.
there is a Sunflora sticker that I often had that also was sort of a delight, I'll say.
Oh, a great sticker. There's like a bunch of them. Very good sticker.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like a whole little crop of Sunflora.
We gotta do at least a minute on stickers. Stickers are. I'm so insane about stickers, and I need to like get over it. I need to like.
Oh, me too.
Intervene with myself about caring about the stickers, but I care a lot about the stickers.
like collecting
I
them.
save one of each one.
No, like getting rid of them. I like hate if there are certain kinds of stickers in my whatever sticker box. I don't even. God knows what they're even in. It's all fake, and yet I care.
Hate that cast form one. The like fiery cast form.
yeah.
I hate that.
one's
one.
See,
terrible.
that one doesn't. I just the early ones. Squirtle saying yes.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
Squirtle saying yes. I hate it. I want it gone.
There's a few. They feel like insults. They feel like it's targeted. Some of them.
Pikachu going, oh yeah, and
Yeah,
like flexing
terrible.
his muscles. Fuck off.
Yeah,
No.
that one is a little disturbed. Well, we should
As
say
if it weren't
what this
abundantly
is.
apparent.
Yeah.
This is Experience Shared's Pokemon Podcast. We've been playing through Pokemon Go quietly in the background. We just finished our Oros Wedlock season. But for the last 12 weeks, we've also been playing Pokemon Go. And we're here
Very
to talk
quietly,
about
in
the
my case.
conclusion of our journey. We may continue on. We're definitely going to stop talking about it after this. And we brought someone in who has been playing since its inception, correct?
That's right.
And you just never
And you've-
stopped?
Never stopped. I mean, I would have little lulls, and I really got back into it when the pandemic began, which I think is true for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, never stopped. Never stopped.
The game is Pokemon Go.
And
Sure
that's
is.
David Sims who's joining
It's
us.
That is
sure.
David Sims.
I don't know that
It
we
is
said
David
that,
Sims.
other than Buzz Sims.
I listen
Sims
to
Flora.
your podcast, and I
Yeah.
like your podcast.
Yep.
But I don't think I have ever had the experience of like yelling at nobody while I'm listening than when you guys started Pokemon Go and you were sort of like, I mean, I don't know, like, am I supposed to do this? And I was just like, oh my god, like, what are they thinking? Like, I can't even remember what it was. I was texting you guys a lot, certainly being like,
Yeah, you're really instrumental.
You get a candy for every 5 kilometers. Like, come on, guys, or whatever I was worked up about.
Yeah.
But
Swap
You
the buddies.
helped us find our sea legs, and you definitely like sent us a lot of gifts early on, which I think helped to give us a little base on which we could flourish. But now it's become overwhelming. Frankly, I have hundreds of friends, and have to send.
Hundreds.
It's like a job. I spend the last hour of my day every day just receiving and sending gifts.
I couldn't even
no,
generate
yeah.
enough
It's enough,
gifts
sir.
to be able to send back. Like, I've just been working through my list and looking for anybody who I don't have at least, one heart of friendship with, and just trying to like at least give everyone one gift.
you guys probably have too many. How many friends have you got? Because you guys probably just like blasted the code out, right? And you just made
Yeah.
friends with everybody. How many friends you got? Look it up right now. Tell me.
Let's take a look. Let's take a look.
Oh God, what if one of us who has more friends? I have 310.
311.
Really?
Guys, you can't have that many friends. It's sort
of a
not
nightmare.
practical. I have 86, and that is unwieldy. Like, that's too much. And and some of them I'm 4-star friends with, so I don't even need to. But like, it's still too much. 300, you're never going to keep track of that.
And now I feel bad for all the folks who sent gifts that I won't ever redeem, presumably, because I will only redeem if I can give a gift back. Because I don't want them to, keep sending me a gift if I can't reciprocate, but I also can't generate enough gifts to ever, get to the end of this list, so.
Right. Yes.
We have come into this game.
It's a hard life.
Late. We're recent additions to the Pokemon
blundered
Go.
In years.
Yeah, I would say
late.
that's accurate. But in the last 12 weeks, I think we have mastered the mechanics. We do understand all the intricacies of the game. We know how to find our way through the menus at last. We're mastering every new feature that's come out since we last talked about it, including this campfires beta. I don't know if either of you have tried that yet.
The what? What did you just...
maybe you guys aren't elite enough to have gotten invited. Sorry.
What's the word you said? It got garbled.
There's a new app called Campfires, and it's meant for organizing raids. It's like a Pokemon Go. Niantic makes it. And
they made it, because there's a lot of third-party apps that I've always been skeptical of. But okay, I mean, that sounds fun.
This is the official one, and it's in beta now. And it's purely just for local, organizing local and online raids.
Okay.
And a number of seasons have come and gone. Right now we're in the season of light, which I think just means we see a lot more Cosmogs or something. We've ridden these waves.
Rarity, and then there's Ultra Beasts also, I think.
I don't want to hear about it.
Well, you will be when we play Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, because that's where they come from. So can't avoid the Ultra Beasts, regardless of if you play Pokemon.
We've been riding these waves for 12 weeks. I've been riding the yellow wave through central Connecticut here, crashing down on the local park scene around me. I've got some true enemies, some people who are real rivals. If I ever saw them on the street, we'd have words. As I told you previously, Josh.
Still a nemesis.
Yeah, they like to take over my local gyms, but it's been a journey. David, you've been on this journey for years. I'm curious to hear what about the game has kept you on for the last 6 years?
I don't fucking know. I don't know why I keep playing this goddamn game. I mean, I think I am in the place that a lot of veteran Pokemon fans are in, where I'm beginning to wonder if it's time to wrap it up, because
time to go.
I don't. Some people are actively mad at Niantic because in the pandemic, the game sort of had to reorient itself, right?
Yeah.
Because there had to be the acknowledgement of okay, you guys aren't really going outside. You can't be social. So suddenly it was easier to hit gyms. Remote raids were introduced. So suddenly raiding became a whole other thing. It used to be raids were kind of annoying because you had to go to a place and you had to hope that other people would be there. It was this sort of impossible thing to arrange.
Yeah.
It was very based on being social. When remote raids came in, it was great, perfect. Every single legendary Pokemon is now mine. But still, and you could go onto a website or use an app to just get a good raid going with people you don't even know, and then you would make friends with people all over the world. And I, like most other players, hardcore players, totally enjoyed this because I don't believe in this game. This game doesn't need scarcity. I'm all for just let me play with my Pokemon. It's fine. You don't need to make this impossible for me, and we don't need to pretend that this is a game about going outside anymore because we couldn't, right?
Right.
And,
as soon as you could also just battle from your couch. I said that in, I think, the last episode. I was you could just farm from your couch, and if my apartment doesn't happen to have a Pokestop within reach of being in my apartment, but if you do, then there's you don't really have to leave at all anymore, which seems
or a
crazy
gym, even easier if you happen to live within reach of a gym. Raids are gonna roll through. You can claim the gym anytime you want.
In recent months, they have been pulling things back. It's harder to get a remote raid pass now. It's harder to, do a lot of the sort of remote stuff. I get it. I understand. that they don't want it to just be like the sort of pandemic app forever. And every time they do something, the fans revolt. Like, so they changed the Pokestop distance back. You had to be really close again. And people lost their fucking minds about that to the extent that the game was like, okay, fine, whatever. It's 80 yards again instead of 20. You know, whatever. I don't know what the numbers are, but the real problem the game has, and it's unavoidable, is that it's almost caught up with Pokemon, the series. It's introduced a lot of the, many hundreds of... How many are there these days? What are we talking about? Like 1,000? And they, if you've been playing this game for years like me, you'll get the little news blog thing.
Oh, 905. All right. Sorry.
All right, cool.
Just so we know.
No, it's fine. So it's getting close to 1,000, but you get the little, hey, this month it's Litwick month. And you're like, fuck you. I have shiny everything Litwick, 4 stars.
Yeah.
Litwick, old news. You know how many Litwicks I've seen in my life? 100 million Litwick can't. And that's a me problem. That's not the game's fault. There's only so many things this game could give me that's new. I've just been playing for a long time, so I'm not going to be blown away by a Litwick or a fucking who else has been around recently. I mean, the things that are insulting is when they're like
Roggenrola week was like pretty insulting. It's like
the true insult
and that like
I don't
Voltorb
want
one
anymore.
What?
You guys talked about it. At least with Voltorb, they had a new Volt. They had the whatever, the wooden Voltorb.
Hisuian.
Yeah. But when they did Starly Community Day, which I believe you guys discussed because I think it was happening.
That started, I think, when we
outrageous.
began. Yeah.
You can't be giving me one of the sort of very basic Pokemon from one of the earlier generations and be like, look, there's 100 Starly. I now have shiny, amazing Staravias, Staraptor,
that was my first one. Yeah.
You load
Wild
up
Wings.
and you're sort of like, okay, good, fine. I guess I did that. But it's stuff like that where I do feel like we might. And then, of course, and others might disagree with me, and I'm sure you guys have much to discuss, and I want to hear how you're doing. But the thing that pisses me off the most...
Clear the runway.
Classic Sims rant, everyone. Back up.
is when they're like... You know Diglett? And I'm like, yeah, I know Diglett. What's the next part of this question? Diglett's got a hat now. You better catch Hat Diglett before he goes. I'm like, why do I need Hat Diglett?
Well, yeah.
I don't know.
When I signed in and all of a sudden everyone was in hats, I was like, I don't know what's going on. And they're like, it's Fashion Week. And I was like, that still doesn't explain it.
This is...
Who's putting the hats on them?
They do a lot. I think I'm going to count how many unique Pikachus I have. Obviously, Pikachu is Pikachu.
There was one, the London Pikachu I like.
Oh, yeah, the Beefeater.
Yeah.
When we first started playing, it was birthday week. So for some reason, all my oldest and strongest Pokemon all have little birthday hats on.
They've done many a birthday hat. I mean, I have 31 unique Pikachus. And because I don't keep doubles of Pokemon, right? Like I always just want the best version of each Pokemon. But if there's a Pikachu wearing a Charmander hat, it's like, okay, well that counts as its own thing, I guess. So, I have a Pikachu hovering on balloons, and then I have a Pikachu hovering on balloons with a 5. That was the 5th anniversary version. Like stuff like that where I'm like, why am I still invested in this? Why do I need they do a thing with Bunnery where Bunnery will have a little flower in her hair.
Cherish that. You can pass that down to your kids someday.
Yeah, well, I've got one. I've seen and I've transferred many more. Do you want to transfer this event Pokemon? Yeah, I think that one can go. That's okay. Look, I play the app pretty much every day. I do keep my streaks alive. I tried to send my gifts. There's still some fun stuff. They're doing their best. Ultra Beasts, whatever. They'll throw new things in. You're like, all right, here we go. But I don't know.
I've had a lot of fun with it over the last 12 weeks. But I don't think I'm going to be like a daily player from now on. I'll definitely keep it installed. I'll keep checking in. But once you sort of master the mechanics, which you can pretty much do in 12 weeks, you sort of get a flavor of all the different gameplay loops in that time. Mm-hmm. You have to be really into a couple of those gameplay loops to keep doing it for 6 years. I think playing the gyms is really fun for me.
The gyms are fun. You have to play every day for Pokemon Go to make any sense. That is my opinion.
I think that's
if you're just checking in, then it's not really going to work. Like it'll be cute to sort of be like, oh look, they got one of those. But like the game, you kind of need to devote 10 minutes a day to it, and that might be my good friend Emma Stefanski used to be my best Pokemon Go friend, and one day she quit. She was like, I can't fucking deal with this anymore. It was when they started introducing timed events where it was like, you have 7 days to do all these goals.
Yeah.
And she's just like, I'm done. And I was like, you'll be back, don't you? And she's never come back. And I just like, I look at her with such envy. I'm like, God, she did it.
Once you're
she
out,
put it down. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's the core tension to me. I mean, I'll say, like, first, I also, like, I'm glad I did this again. And I imagine I'm definitely not going to delete it like I previously did when I stopped. Like, I'll keep it around,
keep it
and like, I'm not gonna totally stop, I think. But to me, the core tension is sort of what you're talking about, David, where it's like you're either like so it's an unresolvable problem for Niantic and Pokemon, I think, which is just like you have to make a game like this has to appeal and be easy enough for folks who just want to be able to like go on once a day and like spin a Pokestop and like catch them on to get the little bonuses or whatever. Maybe send some gifts, but then it also has to appeal to the more like hardcore or like long time Pokemon fans who actually want to be able to like master the mechanics and like go to the gyms and like get the best Pokemon and like try to fill out the Pokédex. And because like those two things are just the total opposite ends of the spectrum, I think that's why even doing it for, the 12 weeks or whatever ish total that we have done here, you see the loops of like all of the timed events and the seasons and like the types of goals. And you're like, okay, well, like if I just stop playing, I know I could probably come back in another couple of months and like I'll get it at that point.
We'll get essentially the same mission, just like now it's like
it'll come. You'll
Team
never.
Aqua.
There's never the vibe of like, oh shit, I missed my chance to get Thunderous. That's never coming back. It's like, nah, he'll be back. They all just sort of loop in and out the various legendaries and all that. Yeah,
because that's like you mentioned too is like the innate issue is like they're already almost caught up.
It is finite.
And then what do they? And it's not like we have that. Obviously, that's a issue to get meta with like this podcast concept. Except like we'll catch up eventually in the next year or so. But we can always just go back and like play a bunch of old games. And like Pokemon Go doesn't have the opportunity. It's like once you catch up to the current generation, it's like, okay, well, like all you could do is put a fucking hat or a bow tie on like random Pokemon, and then it just loses a lot of like the more satisfying aspects.
Let's get into stickers then, because I think stickers is one of those things where it's like, I have a lot of regrets for this game. I regret not catching that Hisuian Articuno I missed, and I'm going to regret that for the rest of my life.
Yeah, that one is a looker.
But every now and then someone will send me a sticker that's clearly from like some limited time event, and it's like, it fills me with anxiety that I somehow like miss this event and don't have this cool sticker. And I need one of every sticker in my book. I'm the opposite of you, David.
That's kind of where I was at. I keep at least one.
No, thank you.
You just try to clear house entirely.
Oh, I have so many stickers. Here's my thing with stickers, and this is my regret with this game. When they introduced stickers, I was sort of like, oh, I don't care about this. And then after a while, it was like, oh, I have like 25 of each of the basic stickers. I guess I should start playing with these. It's nothing to just, tap, add a sticker. Oh, that's cute. And then suddenly I was like, I just got, they started adding new stickers. And I just got to be a thing like where I'm like, oh, well, it's much better to send a cool, Fletchling sticker than it is to send the same fucking Charmander saying hi sticker. So... but then I get in my head about so I have to get rid of all the Charmanders and then I'll be in shape. But of course you keep getting new stickers and it's a treadmill. And there's things about the treadmill of Pokemon Go that I enjoy because this is the only game like this that I play. I know there's lots and lots of iPhone games.
It's definitely a mobile game.
Right, they have the same economy where it's like, we just sort of keep you hooked and we release new things, and occasionally we're like, hey, can you give us $4 to like expand your storage? And you're like, oh God, I play this thing all the time. Sure, take the $4. I'll do that. And Pokemon's the only one. Like I have spent money on Pokemon Go, not a lot, but I've done it because I got sick of like trying to earn coins to like expand my item storage. At a certain point, I was like,
items in particular.
Like, how many items are you guys? What's your? God, you guys are gonna yell at me. What's your item max?
Oh, the slots.
Yeah. How many? Like, just click your items. Out of how many can you have?
Oh boy, I think you're gonna yell at me.
I went up to
No.
700 is my expansion.
Uh-huh.
And I think it starts at what, 200? 300?
Sounds right. Don't remember. It's a long time ago.
I'm up
Tanner?
to 1350.
I'm at
Oh
2,000. Okay, I'm at 2,000. You
Oh
want to know how
my
many
God.
max revives do you guys have right now?
25.
6.
I have 214. Why do I have 214 max revives?
At some point,
I'm
David,
never
you sent
gonna
me a
use
screen
them.
cap of like a Pokemon's like image in your Pokemon database, and like
Yeah.
the number of Stardust you had, like I had to like sit down for a second.
It's
I
like
mean,
Pi where it just goes on for infinity.
Yeah, you will. Stardust, the most crucial asset in the game. Actually,
I know, and you
Stardust
had
is really
a
annoying.
ton of it.
Yeah. Well, you got
I
to be
spend it
careful
like
with
I can't keep it in my bank.
No, you got to be careful with Stardust because if you run out, it makes everything annoying. Like if you're like, oh come on, it'll be fun. I'll make my my stupid Pokemon like a 3,000 for no reason. It's like no, don't be careful. Like
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've lost track of the amount of money I've spent on this game, to be totally honest. But
Yeah.
that's
Fair.
because I had an open door policy with regards to remote raids. Anyone who wanted a
yeah,
remote,
sure.
raid, if
You
I
were
was
doing it.
available, I would say yes. I would spend the buck to like get the pass. And then it started happening where like I get it. You want me to like please keep inviting me to your remote raids. I don't mean
It's
to,
nice.
to discourage any of you, but when you get invited to a remote raid by like a level 25 player and it's like a level 60,000 like Xerneas, it's like, okay, we're going to do our best with this, but we're definitely going to lose. And I just want everyone to be aware of that.
I would,
But yeah.
like, I'm not. No, I leave if someone invites me to a remote raid and it's like, hey, the three of us are gonna take down, this
Mega
Reshiram. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
See you later. Yeah, goodbye. Grand opening, grand closing. Like I'm not here.
The first one was
okay.
Deoxys for me, where it was like, I think I can take on these Deoxys, and I just couldn't. Like it takes
No,
like
you
insane
need-
people
I never
to
got
take
one
down
of
the
those.
You need
defense
5
form Deoxys.
You need 5 or 6 people minimum for a 5-star raid, I would say, and they need to be,
Yeah.
not nobodies. Then you need like level 35 plus people to do it,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna hawk your fucking balls at that thing, and if you don't catch it, you're gonna be annoyed for an entire day, and that's how this game is.
That's what rubbed me the wrong way with raids.
I feel like I sound more negative about it than I am. I do enjoy Pokemon Go. It's a fun little game. I got my little guys.
You got your little guys. They follow you around sometimes. Mine started doing this
very
really
sweet.
cool move where if I throw a Pokemon ball at a Pokemon in the wild and it bounces it back to me, my Poliwhirl will come out and punch it back at them and catch them. And it feels good every time it
because
happens.
they're like your really good buds.
I guess so.
Yeah,
I kept swapping
That's
mine.
a good buddy thing. Yeah.
I have a Cranidos out there right now because I thought it would be funny and I was right. Because it like, it moves around like a raptor when it's out on the street, and it is kind
Yeah.
of like a little cutie anyway. And I just want I want to evolve
I
it.
mean,
but
You guys can look at who I've got right now. You're going to be mad at me.
It's
Please
going to
look
be
me
someone heinous. Oh, David.
Hello.
Why?
Why? Because I need to evolve him. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but for pretty much the entirety, well, say who it is, guys. Say it. out loud.
Panseer. David hasn't changed a bit since we started playing the game. He's still wearing the exact same outfit, except now
It's
he's got a
slick
Panseer
little
following
outfit.
him around.
So for pretty much all of the game, only one pan monkey has been available to my region. So like you couldn't catch the other pan monkeys. So Panseer is available in Africa and Europe.
Interesting.
You guys know about
because
this,
I have
right?
really only seen Panpour
Yeah.
now that I think about it.
Panpour is our Pokemon. So we get Panpour. The Americas get Panpour.
That's
And
unfortunate.
what's the other one? Sage is
Sage.
like Asia and Australia. But then once in a while they'll be like, "Oh, this week there's other, Pansage is out there or whatever." And so I finally got a Panseer because he was made available for whatever reason, and so now I'm walking with him so I can evolve him. That's all, guys. Okay, sometimes you got to do it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's the other thing. I think like I do. I also enjoy this game, and I think I'm being careful not to speak negatively about it. But one thing that has also kind of affected our Pokemon Go journey is having 310 friends, because we trade a lot of gifts. We get a lot of eggs in those gifts, and we get like plenty of stuff from Singapore and Korea and Australia and Germany.
I'm working on
and
one
the UK.
from Sligo, Ireland right now.
So I think like we see a lot more of these weird Pokemon that we're not supposed to ever see. I think that like there's already a total lack of scarcity in this game, and then that's doubly so if you happen to be playing like full time with 300 friends.
It used to truly, when the game really started, that was part of the gimmick, and it was clever. It was fun to think about, like, oh my God, like Kangaskhan. To go get a Kangaskhan, you would need to fly to, I need to look it up because I can't remember where Kangaskhan was locked to.
Surely Australia.
Well, that sounds right.
That does sound right.
It's also like I need to make, not to like let everyone in on how the sausage is made, but like I need to make content about these Pokemon, and I can't have Pokemon like Buzzswole spoiled for me.
Yeah.
I need to experience Buzzswole in context.
I know. I was sort of upset that you got spoiled on Ultra
Oh,
Beast.
sure. And you were correct. It was only Australia.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, I like that. That's
Right,
clever,
but
at least.
that was fun. It was like, oh my God, like we're only going to get them in Australia. And then, eventually after years, they have to be like, look, we're going to put them in a raid. Like, once in a while, like they have to open it up. Yeah.
One of the most thrilling moments of my Pokemon Go journey was when Josh and I met up for D&D about like 5 or 6 weeks ago now, and traded a couple of Kadabras.
Oh.
And I don't think either of us realized that we were never going to get our own Kadabra back, and that we'd have to keep the other person's Kadabra.
What is that about?
Yeah.
But it turned out fine, and I think both of our traded Kadabras,
Alakazams.
yeah,
Alakazams
ended up being like lucky.
Yeah, mine is
Like they started
a power
like
hitter.
shimmering, and they are like the better Pokemon, and they have better stats, and it was like genuinely thrilling to like do that trade and get like a special like sparkly Pokemon out in the end. I still love him. He's still like
and
one of
I've
my
got
favorites.
your the one that didn't work. Well, when we first figured that out, is that I got your Sir Gonad. The
oh yeah,
what one is that?
Escavalier.
Yeah, Scavalier. Yeah, which I like. But that one was stolen from you, and I don't remember what you got out of it. But that was surprising. I don't really know what the thinking is with not being able to get your Mon back, but I guess you can make it work. Worked out in that Alakazam case.
It's to avoid like lazy trading, I guess, is the thinking. But yeah, no, it is a little frustrating.
Well, that's exactly what we were trying to do.
Yeah.
I want to tell you guys some of the weirdest exclusive Pokemon. So Corsola, which I still don't have, is only available in tropical coastal regions between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn.
Which one? Who?
Corsola, the little coral Pokemon.
Wow.
The Pacific towns built
Relicanth is only available in New Zealand and Fiji. Like Relicanth is truly.
Are you kidding me?
Pachirisu is only available in the North Arctic, so like Canada and Siberia and places like that. Let me find another weird one. Carnivine is only in the southeastern United States, so basically like Florida, in the surrounding states.
I'm like 0 for 6 on all of these so far.
Yeah,
I don't have any of them.
Sigilyph is only in Egypt and Greece. Buffalant, which you guys might have Buffalants, those are only in New York City.
Yeah,
only in New York.
Of those.
That's why
or maybe all of New York State. It's because it's Buffalo, obviously, is the joke. Comfy, which I've never gotten, that's in Hawaii, and that's it.
Wow.
It's crazy. And occasionally these guys get made, available, blah, blah, blah. I've gotten a lot of these region-locked guys over the course of the years, but some of them I'm like, I don't know, when am I ever going to get to fucking, New Zealand? Maybe never.
Wow, yeah.
It's cool, though. It's cool.
That part, see, that harkens back to the very beginning of the game that I really enjoyed, is that the Pokemon were region locked. I didn't know they were still doing that as extensively, and I like that. That's what it should, like, I think there's a certain extent, where like Relicanth is in Fiji and New Zealand only. Maybe there should be a way of opening that one up a bit, even if it's a timed window. Like, that makes sense to me that you would do that. That kind of thing is what I think makes it unique. Whereas a lot of the other aspects seemingly are just kind of like, mainstream mobile cash cow game. And part of that is because Pokemon Go did that, so it's not really a fair critique. But
let's talk about more of our regrets, because
regrets, I've had a few.
There's still a group plaguing me all around my area, and it's the Rocket Go group, and I suspect they will continue to plague me even after I've completed all their research missions and all that stuff. But Giovanni has been kind of floating around in a blimp around my house.
Oh, you've seen him?
Essentially since I started. Yeah, he's constantly plaguing me. He's constantly harassing me. And I've tried to take on Giovanni maybe 36 times, and I've never once beaten him.
I've never even made it beyond the grunts. Or a
man,
boss or two, but not Giovanni.
Wow.
I've evolved Pokemon specifically to take on Giovanni. I know his entire lineup now. He's got a Persian and
classic.
What do you call it?
Rhydon.
Yeah, and a Swampert, I think. And I just can't beat him. I can't do it. He's too strong.
I think this is where my history with this game is so... Because I do not mean to sound entitled or arrogant right now. But beating Giovanni, I just sneeze at him, and he's just like, enough, take my Articuno, or whatever, whatever he's got. Because that's how you get legendary birds. You beat Giovanni. But I think that's just years of playing this stupid game. I just have a team of absolute
I know. I feel like I've got good Pokemon. I've got Pokemon who are closer to Here's who the strongest Pokemon in my lineup are. It continues to be Notesack, Meloette.
Meloetta, the music note, the sexy music note.
Yeah, Meloetta.
Wait, your best Pokemon is Meloetta?
Yeah.
What's her combat power? That's interesting. I've never fought with her.
Her combat power is 2807.
Sure. Wow. You got a beefed up Meloetta.
And then for some reason, I've got a million Eevee evolutions. Slurpee, the water one.
Well,
2 fire ones.
I'll say this about the Eevee evolutions: they are good, they're fun, but they're a little their hit points are not great. They're
can
bad
get
wiped
out
kind of fast. Yeah,
yeah.
They're fun guys, but they're just they're a little, at the end of the day, they're little puppies, and so I feel like they just sort of get knocked out pretty quickly.
They hit hard, but I have a Glaceon, the cold one. It's
a good Pokemon.
Oh, it's named the cold one for our D&D group also. That's nice. For Tanner. But it's that's a 2804, so it's a hard hitter. But
I have a Blaziken.
Gets killed quick.
Every fiber of my being resisted it, but I have a very strong Blaziken. Foot King, 2742.
Foot King.
But Golden Pony is my golden Alakazam. I love that thing. 2725.
Cool. Are we doing level check or
is this
CP
just level check?
I mean, I've got 539 Pokemon, so level check is going to take a little while.
I have a top 6 because I have a team.
Exactly.
Let me hear them. Let me hear your top
10.
6.
Okay.
I want to hear up to 10 of your favorite Pokemon from each of you.
Okay, I can do 10, I think. Level check. These are all 3 stars. Guy Fieri, Gyarados.
I only fuck with 3 stars.
But it's spelled Gya, Guy Fieri. Okay. That's a lucky Gyarados that I got from Mike Levine, our friend. So thank you, Mike. Mm-hmm. That is 3013 CP at this point. Then I have the cold one I mentioned. Glaceon is 2804. Revolting, which is a Vikavolt, 2753. Yamato is a Yanmega, 2635. Love that thing. That's a lucky. Wild Wings is still around. Staraptor, shiny, 2600 from that stupid Starly event. Allie, Starmie, a Starmie is born, 2205. Maggie, Magmortar.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was walking around with a Magmar that Tanner really hated. Yeah, that took forever to get that thing because Magmars are never around, and I wanted to see what Magmortar looked like in this because I enjoyed running it in whatever season I did that.
Shit is what he looks like.
It looks terrible. It only looked good in 2D.
It's a terrible Pokemon.
It's been no good.
Magmortar, though.
It's 2096, and then those are the ones that I have an Aggron. I didn't name them at this point. Aggron is 2081. I have a Genesect that's 1867, and then Archeops, who was like really, now that's like kind of my sweetie if I was doing that. Like really good energy. I mean, I already liked it, but flaps around, good moves. That one is an 1864. I just don't have enough candy, but those are probably my top 10.
All right. Let me give you guys some of my Pokemon. So my number one Pokemon is a Dragonite, who I think is maybe just sort of the best Pokemon in the game. In terms of raw numbers or whatever. Like, I'm not saying like I think the game treats Dragonite as kind of A+ number one. I guess not counting legendaries. Like legendaries are their own thing. You know,
yeah, I remember Dragonite was like one of the rarest ones when the game first started, and I think it was only in Japan that they must have changed that. But
they've changed that. You can get but like I have like hundreds of Dratini candies, and because those are easier to get. It's hard to get fucking whatever, Mewtwo candies or whatever. But so my Dragonite is 3840.
Woohoo!
And he is a 4-star Dragonite. I'm not gonna lie. And he is.
How many 4 stars do you have?
Good question.
Can I easily determine that?
Yeah.
I have 20 4-star Pokemon. They are not easy to come by.
I have 0.
Sure. Yeah. They're special, those guys.
I don't think I have any. Yeah.
If you want to find out, you just go to the search bar and type in 4-star.
Oh, okay.
And it'll bring them all up. So
I have a 4-star Combee.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
You never see him coming.
It doesn't let me evolve it into...
It's a male Combee or a female or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, it's male. Yeah, you're right. So that's useless. 212 CP, but it is a 4-star.
That's cool.
So Dragonite is my big hoss, and with all my boys, you want to give him the 2 attacks. So I have him with Draco Meteor, the 2 charged attacks.
Yeah, the 2.
So I have him with Draco Meteor and Dragon Claw. He's an all dragon boy for me. All his attacks are dragon, because Dragon Claw, it's really helpful against the bosses to have a guy with something like Dragon Claw that's a pretty pathetic charged attack that charges up quickly, because really the bosses will throw up a shield against anything. And so if you just fling 3 bad charge attacks at them, then you get their shields away quick. And if you're playing against real people, which I do a lot, you can trick people, or that playing with a real person, you're trying to do the sort of guess of like, what is this? Should I waste a shield on this?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what it's going to be. So like that's sort of fun. Anyway, so Dragonite, I have a Garchomp that's a 3652. That guy is so cute and great. I have a Metagross who's 3647. I have a Slacking.
I assume all of these can mega evolve too.
Well, if they have a mega evolution, I mean, a lot of them don't. Slacking,
Garchomp and Metagross.
Garchomp do.
I don't think they've been introduced in Pokemon Go.
Oh, okay.
They roll out the Mega Evolutions kind of slowly.
I see.
Mega Evolutions also suck. Fuck Mega Evolutions. Slice. I got a Slacking.
It does not seem like a good investment. Yeah.
Slacking stinks in this game because he doesn't have. He can only yawn as his regular attack. It's the way they.
He's annoying in gyms because he's got 1,000,000 hit points. It takes forever to whittle him down.
He's annoying because he's a big boy. You can put him in gyms to soak up damage. I have a Gyarados, a 4-star Gyarados. I love him so much. He's 3367, and he knows Hydro Pump and Outrage. I have a 3301 Tyranitar. Tyranitar fucking rules in this game. So good. I have a 3240 Rhyperior. And I have a 3179 Magnezone and a 3000 Machamp. Those are my over 3000s.
Big beefy boys.
But I mean, like, there are other Pokemon I love my Yanmega, who's like quite, a nasty little bug.
I really like that one. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of my Togekiss, who's sort of my fairy, heavy. Like if I need a heavy hitter on fairy. And I've got a really nice Beware, which is not even a Pokemon I know. What is that from? Beware and Stuffle, I think is the.
I think we're about
to they're Gen 7. But they're cute. They're little normal fighting guys.
There was, I think that was another proud moment, was like collecting the 400 candies to evolve Stuffle into Scarebat, or whatever it's called.
That's a 400 for Beware.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Beware is one. But the thing with those 400 fuckers, apart from Melmetal, which is its own nightmare, is that they'll roll them out in community days, and you have to be on it, because that's where you can just catch a million Stuffles, you throw pineapple berries at every single one, and you can just very quickly build up your 400 and catch, 2 nice 3-star guys and have a little, this is what I do. It's what I do. It's so great.
I've already told you guys about my whole team. It's mostly EV evolutions. But I have a whole army of 3-star Agrons that I regularly dump candies into to make them stronger. And I just park them in gyms. There's 7 gyms within a half an hour walk of my house. And I just go around collecting them all and parking little Agrons in them. I think people really hate it.
Yeah, probably.
I think I've completely destroyed the ecosystem around here over the last 12 weeks. But, well, that's great. I think, David, any other parting thoughts, any words of wisdom, any advice as we go forward? Should we keep playing?
I don't know.
With the fact that
should we just showing jettison
cracks in the
veneer.
veneer.
I think you should keep playing, but I guess don't worry about your friends because it just sounds like that's too overwhelming, for you to grapple with. So don't worry about that too much. I would keep playing and keep an eye on fun community days that might be coming up where you're like, okay, I'll log on Saturday if there's going to be a lot of those.
Yeah, it was nice that we had that bug catching contest at one point during this.
And then, I really also like the Zigzagoon one. It's fun having all these bright pink obstagoons in my party now.
Yeah, there you go. And then you get the really, really, it is to me at least a very warm feeling. I'm scrolling through my Pokemon right now. Just all these lovely guys that you've worked hard to get, the best versions of, right? So,
do you still have the starter that you got when you originally booted up Pokemon Go in 2016?
I doubt it.
Do you remember how they immediately put a Squirtle or a Bulbasaur or a Charmander next to you?
I mean, I believe I was Team Blue when I started because everyone likes the color blue and because Articuno is the best legendary bird. And then when I started playing for Sirius, I actually bought the medallion that lets you change teams because I realized you have to be Team Yellow because Team Yellow is the best team because the least people are in it. So there's more gyms for you to fight.
I've always been Team Yellow.
Things like that, I hear myself talking and I'm like, David, you have a child. What is this? Why are you spending any time doing this?
It is a little embarrassing when Miles catches me playing Pokemon and he's like, are you playing Pokemon, Daddy? And it's like, yes.
Yes.
It's for work.
Yeah, it's for work, technically.
I think that's the way to do it. Just check in for a little bit every day. Don't go crazy. And then if something fun is happening that you're into,
go nuts.
There you can go nuts every once in a while.
Yeah.
Don't let it rule your emotions. That's my advice.
Well, it's been fun. It's been a journey, but I'm looking forward to getting back to mainline Pokemon games and non-mobile game mechanics with Moon. I'm going to be playing Moon, and Josh is going to be playing Ultra Sun next.
I can't believe you guys are doing this. But then I also don't understand what happened there. Why did they release regular and then ultra kind of back to back? Are they truly just the same games?
We were talking about this. There's no consistency with their releases because I can't remember if we were talking about this on mic or off, Josh, but ever since they started doing these extra games, it hasn't been consistent. It's first it was a combination of the two games, and then it was a sequel, and then it was remakes, and then added features, and then it's just never been any consistency to the secondary release.
Yeah.
And now they just made it at the same time as the other one.
I don't think that there is, I think it was maybe a reference, but there isn't a specific video about the Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon situation yet, but I did just watch what happened to Pokemon Gray and Pokemon Z, which is Did You Know Gaming. Shout out to our old pal, Dr. Lava is one of the contributors there. And that video, I think, kind of gives, even though it's about Gray, which would have been the black and white, third version, and then Z, which would have been the third of X and Y, sort of gives more background into it because that touches on the Pokemon Z stuff, going around and collecting the Zygarde cells and stuff is in Pokemon Sun and Moon. But it's Zygarde doesn't really make, it's why is Zygarde here in Alola? They don't really explain that. And I guess a lot of it, 2015 was the one year that there wasn't a Pokemon release. And I think that part of the tension that they highlight in the video is about how well, they were thinking about phasing out the 2DS and only going in on the 3DS, and then the Switch was also on the horizon. And so 2015 was this contentious year of like, what do we put Pokemon on? And they decided to just
and then
go
they did,
all
like,
in
Let's
on
Go
like
Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, which are like disasters, right?
Oh,
they borrow Pokemon Go
no.
mechanics with the catching stuff.
Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu are not disasters. Those games are really fun. You're gonna have a good time playing them.
Really? I've only ever heard bad things about them, but I'm
People like
excited
to
to play them.
fucking whine and moan. That's why
I thought they were a delight.
they just whine and moan. Nya, nya, nya.
I enjoyed them. They're definitely like for babies comparatively. I mean,
They're a little bit for babies, but it's like you're playing Red and Blue, which are the best, they're so much fun, with like nice Switch graphics, and like the Pokemon Go catch mechanic, it's like a little annoying, but like so is regular catching.
I'm going to go get one of those balls
who
and
cares?
throw it out these Pokemon when we start.
Yeah, get a ball. Anytime a new game comes out, people are like, why isn't this the Pokemon game I've always wanted? Which it sort of seems like Scarlet and Violet is that, right? Where it's like they're finally giving you a true open world game. And I'm like, fine, sure, complain that it's not what you wanted, but it's a totally fun playing experience. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're playing Moon and Ultra Sun, two different weird parts of this same generation. We hope you'll play along and come join us, David.
and in terms of like why it did
I'll do
Ultra
it.
instead of like whatever that would be, Mars. That I'm not really sure about.
But so should I play? I think I have both Sun and Ultra or whatever. Which should I play, I guess is my question.
Go with Ultra, because Ultra is like
It's like the same
more
game with a little extra
complete
stuff.
experience.
Right.
No, that's what we've been told, is they're not actually the same game. There's like differences between them that are like important. So
The
that's
story
why we're playing both,
is slightly different, but it's not, from what we've read and what we have been told, they are not significantly different enough that it would really make a ton of sense for us to like do like
back to back.
Yeah. Maybe at some point we could flip it or something, but
I think you're going to have more fun with Ultra.
That's kind of what
I'll do
I'm
Ultra.
thinking. I did Sun before, so that's
I did
Ultra
play
Sun.
Omega Ruby or whatever the fuck, but you guys were like, would you like to do Go instead? And I was like, yeah, I want to do Go. I got to do Go with you guys.
Yeah.
But I'll play Ultra.
We needed your expertise for that.
All right. Well, keep inviting us to raids. We're happy to join when we're available to do so, and keep sending us postcards, especially if you're sending us postcards. I was collecting postcards from around the world. I think I have
me too. That part's
dozens
fun.
of countries.
That's nice.
But I wish they had a world graphic instead of
that'd be
just
cool.
like, a pin board.
They should hire us to work for them. We've got all sorts of good ideas.
Yes.
That's it for the show this week. Please do rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, and do follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EXPSharePod. David, where can people find you?
I'm at David L. Sims on Twitter, and I have a podcast called Blank Check that you can listen to about movies. And we're doing Stanley Kubrick right now, and that's fun and nice. I write at The Atlantic. I write movie reviews at theatlantic.com and such. So that's there too for you. Isn't that nice?
Everyone go check
Are you
out
a
everything David
Tarhead?
makes.
Tar's my
to
number
watch
one
Tar
of the
yet?
year, baby.
That's
one.
what it seems like.
Number
I'm
one.
seeing that this weekend.
So everyone go check out Tar. Josh, where can people find us on Reddit?
They could find us at reddit.com/r/bugcatchers, where you can start ramping up and posting level checks alongside the rest of the community. And that is where we will eventually battle someone from Ross season. I need to look into that. And then you can also buy our merch at expsharemerch.com. Yeah, looking forward to heading to Alola next week. Oh, we will also post... Now that we're not doing a gym every week necessarily, we will post the schedule on all three.
Yep.
Reddit, Instagram, and Twitter. So that you
look for
what
that
we will
the
be
week
playing.
This episode is going up.
Yeah.
All right. That's it, boys. Thank you for joining me. Bugcatchers, thank you for joining us. I will see you in Alola.
Smell you later.
Wow.